Hello, vinyl community. George Allen here. Vinyl LPs and CDs and a contest entry for Roberts on My Turntable. Great contest he's got going here. Band changes and which version is better. I realized as I was working on this that it's very subjective, because sometimes it just depends on the style you like and who's in the band and who's not in the band, and sometimes it's very hard to choose. And of course, as I was selecting these, I didn't want to disappoint people who've been following my channel, and you know that one of the bands I had to pick had to be Procol Harum. This is very difficult for me because I like a lot of their albums. And of course, whether I choose Salty Dog, whether I choose Broken Barricades, it's going to be a tough decision. But I'm going with Grand Hotel on this one. Different lineup. No Robin Trower, no Matthew Fisher. You know, both of them were great on their instruments. Matthew Trower, great keyboardist. Matthew Fisher, yeah, organist. Robin Trower, wonderful guitarist. Still touring today. Okay, so instead, we got Mick Grabham, replaced him. We had, on this we have Alan Cartwright on bass, Chris Copping on organ. Now, some of these guys, like Chris Copping, he was with Gary Brooker and Robin Trower when they had the band The Paramounts, when they were young guys roaming around England as The Paramounts, as a rhythm and blues band. But anyhow, this album, wonderful songs on it. And this was their sixth studio album, came out in 1973. First time I saw Procol Harum was when they were touring America, backing up this album. And as Mick Grabham playing guitar, not necessarily Robin Trower, but he was an experienced guitar, had been in several notable bands in England like Cochise and some others. So, you know, he knew his stuff. And this was, of course, still B.J. Wilson was still their drummer. Excellent drummer. Impressed me when I saw him playing live. So that's what I was going with today. He has some other feelings, like everything I'm going to mention. You guys aren't shy. You can leave your thoughts in the comments. So that's what I'm going with, number one. There. Okay, next choice. A band I never see talked about too much in the VC. Sea Level. As the years rolled on for Allman Brothers, and Greg Allman and Dickie Betts decided to part their ways, and the rest of their band that was touring with them, Chuck Leavell and Lamar Williams. You know, Chuck was a keyboardist, Lamar was the bass player. Say, let's put a band together and keep going. They liked that southern rock sound, and great musicians, So they put Sea Level together, from C from Chuck and Level from Chuck Leavell. So this is their third studio album, very good album, and I like it a lot. Great music. And you know, Chuck himself, this was, I think they only did one more album after this, and then they did some compilation stuff, you know, the best of Sea Level, and he went on to play with Eric Clapton, George Harrison, and spent almost 20 years with the Rolling Stones. He was kind of like the ad hoc Rolling Stone member of the band. And great music. This is just a wonderful album. So that's what I'm going with my second one. And Sea Level. So next I'm delving into jazz. So here we go. Bill Evans and his trios. Now this is the trio I'm going with as his best trio that I like the most. His first trio was, they did an album called Everybody Digs Bill Evans, and if you watch my channel, you'll see that I received some VCLT, and I got that album, and it's a beautiful album. Everybody Digs Bill Evans. On that one, he had Sam Jones as a bass player, Philly Joe Jones as a drummer. Well, he happened to meet one day Scott LaFaro, who was playing down the road from where he was doing some playing himself, Bill, and him and Scott were talking, and Scott says, hey, let's get Paul Motion together. They formed a trio. Well, they did a couple albums together, three studio albums. Then they were playing at the Village Vanguard and did this album. Wonderful album. And that's why I'm going with this. I think this was his best trio, and the interesting aspect of this trio was they played like a band. It wasn't like Bill Evans and his sidekicks. They played like a band. And on this album, listening to it, it almost reminds me of the days when the Cream were at their peak. And Jack Bruce and Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker, they were jamming, and they were just really tight. And this is what this sounds like. They're going to say, you know, George, you're crazy. Listen to this album. This is what it reminds me of. It really does. Tight playing, playing off each other. Wonderful. The song Solar, beautiful, beautiful song. Really a good jamming song. So I liked it. This is my pick for number 3. Bill Evans Trio, Sunday at the Village Vanguard. Next one. Yes album. The Yes album. Their third studio album. I saw them live way back when. Guess what? Early 70s. And I just love this album. They had some other great albums. I don't doubt it. And you're going to tell me about it. I love this album. John Anderson, Chris Squire, Peter Banks, Tony Kaye, and the inevitable Bill Bruford. Yours Is No Disgrace. Great songs on here. Starship Trooper. Fantastic song. I love this lineup. I saw them in 2017 with Steve Howe, Alan White, Jeff Downs, Billy Sherwood, and John Davis. I saw them. The current lineup. They were pretty good, but not like this. Great album. This is the one I choose, number 4. Fifth one, walked into a record store, saw this album. I was working next door selling audio equipment. I know these guys at the record store. I picked this up. I said, hey, what's the deal with these? They said, oh, that's a group. They're like third album or something. Genesis. They said, yeah, their lead singer walks around with some kind of stuff on his head or something. I bought it and fell in love with it. Now, again, you're probably going to write me some comments about some other ones. Fine and dandy. I have Spotify. You tell me which one you like, I'll listen to it. I've been in love with this album since 1973 when it came out. Yep, these guys. Phil Collins, I think, wrote one song on this album or something. He sang on one song. But this is my all-time favorite. Peter Gabriel, Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and Phil Phil Collins, great album. Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. George's favorite of all the lineups. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it with those. Robert has a wonderful channel. You gotta check him out. He's so cool, calm. Man, it's just nice to sit back and listen to his record reviews and stuff. You gotta check him out. So that's it for me today with this contest. Have a great day. See you in the VC. Bye-bye.